Welcome back, everybody, to another video. I'm not in the business of wasting anybody's time. I know that you guys have seen the title. This is going to be my Fujifilm X-PRO-3 review of sorts, right? I went out and I shot this camera over at a nice spot that I scouted out for a long time, and I always wanted to go make photos there. And this thing did an amazing job. There's timestamps below to where you can see all the things that I'm going to talk about in this video, the pros, the cons, and even the photos that this beautiful camera can produce. So I'm not going to waste you guys' time, right? So if you guys want to just go there, click, and see what this thing can do, you can do that. Or if you want to sit here and listen to me yap and give an honest opinion of the camera, you can stay here because I'm going to talk about it a little bit. But yeah, if you guys want to go, I'm going to see you guys at the end of the video. Or if not, you guys can stay here and listen to me yap. So 3, 2, 1. All right, cool. So you guys want to hear an opinion, right? So this camera has been with me for a little while. I've had it for about 3 years now. So as you guys are gonna see when I take it out and shoot and all that stuff, I don't want to make this part of the video too long because I do want to show you guys that. But if I had to describe this camera in a couple words, this camera is beautifully flawed, right? That's what I want to say about it. I'm saying that because I love this camera. This is one of my favorite cameras of all time. Pretty much all of my professional and published digital work has come from this outside of my actual job. This thing is awesome. It's awesome because you get a chance to change the lenses, you get a chance to do all that stuff. I wanted to get an X100 series camera. Those are the ones with the fixed lens, but I realized that I wanted to take the lens off and do other things. So one of the biggest things that I love about this camera is the back, right? Of course, there's no screen. Everyone's like, oh, it's a gimmick, this and the third. You can still chimp, so if you shoot it, you can chimp. But it does really force you to kind of look at it in a different way. It doesn't look like other cameras, and it doesn't feel like other cameras, right? So that's one of the biggest things I love about this camera. Another thing I like about this camera is the size. Like, look at this thing, right? I don't have big hands, but this thing is very small. Very small, very sleek design. So if you're going out and doing street photography, you can literally just get in somebody's face, put it up, boom, and they honestly 9 times out of 10 won't even be able to see that you did it. I'll throw up a couple of pictures of that so you guys can see how close I've gotten to people. The settings in this camera allow you to set a zone focus kind of range to be able to have a focus already there and shoot it just like film shooters with their lenses and all that stuff. So you can literally just put this thing to a couple meters and everything will be in focus all the time. So it's awesome. The lens I have on here right now that I shot on today was the 27 millimeter pancake lens. It's not the one with the aperture rings on it or anything like that, but it's still awesome. Very sleek, very sharp lens. It's a 2.8 lens, and even when it's wide open, it is very sharp. I love this lens for that. It's absolutely amazing. One of the gripes I have with this camera, again, I said it in the video. Now I'll kind of talk about it right now. The build quality of this camera isn't all that. It isn't the greatest, I have the Dura material, so it has a lot of fingerprints on it. I'm not really talking about that, but mostly like the buttons, right? Like, it's never broke on me or anything like that, but it has sometimes it just feels a little flimsy, and I don't want to hurt it. You know what I mean? I don't want to hurt the camera. So like when you go around and you're shooting and stuff like that, and you're like, oh, I don't want this thing to hit the ground and all that stuff. Sometimes it gets a little scary, but yeah, I'll meet you guys after I show you guys how it does outside, preferably in nice weather. But yeah, I'm gonna cut over to today's shoot, and I'll kind of talk to you guys after, and we'll go into some more in-depth pros and cons. Today, unlike most days in Georgia, was actually beautiful outside. It was around 55 degrees, so I realized that I had to grab my camera and take advantage of the nice weather. Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful Georgia morning, and there's a place that I want to go and kind of, show you guys why the X-PRO-3 is possibly one of the best cameras that you can buy with money in the modern age. Coming from a film shooter like myself, hopefully you guys saw my last video, my film journey. I'm gonna, have a chance to show you guys why I love this camera and why you guys should love it too. Yeah, guys, so the place that we're heading to right now has been kind of on my bucket list to shoot for a little while now. It's called the Corvette Cemetery, as what I've heard a lot of people call it and all that good jazz, but I live in South Georgia right now, so there's a lot of abandoned cars and a lot of abandoned places that have some really interesting gems, especially for me being a photographer and all that stuff. But yeah, that's the lore. I think that you guys will be able to see the Fujifilm X-PRO-3 and see what it's really good at. Right now it's beautiful. It's the morning, it's around 10 o'clock. I wish I got up a little bit earlier to kind of get the sun rising a little bit on it, but other than that, it's still going to be a beautiful, beautiful day with really good tones. You guys will be able to see the tones. So yeah, I'll see you guys when we get there. One of the best things about shooting with the Fuji X-PRO-3 is how well the colors are in the pictures. I don't know if it's the film simulation that I'm using or if it's the camera itself, but every single time I go out and make a photo with this camera, the colors are stunning. These photos right here are a prime example on how well Fuji does with capturing beautiful colors. I'm using the Portra 800 film simulation for these pictures, and the colors are absolutely insane. Coming up to today, I haven't really shot on my X-PRO-3 as much as I would have liked within the past couple months. I have been feeling a little bit of a creative rut, but being able to go outside and look at these pictures and make these photos was absolutely amazing. And it honestly shows how fun it is to shoot on the X-PRO-3. Well, I got you guys here. I just shot a few snaps on the X-PRO-3, of course. Get that beautiful, beautiful camera. I'm a model. It's like, but yeah, well, I got you guys here. One of the immediate gripes that I've had with this camera over shooting it for years now is the fact that the X-PRO-3, it doesn't feel as robust as I would like it to feel. Sometimes it feels like if you kind of handle the camera a little bit too rough, or if you make a mistake and drop it or anything like that, you kind of get a little less confidence bringing it outside in bad weather and stuff like that. One of the biggest reasons why is because it's made out of, this one is the Dura metal camera, so it has a lot of the handprints on it and all that stuff, but the buttons itself and kind of like the knobs and switches are all kind of made out of, you know, plastic. So that's one of the biggest reasons why, you know, this camera is amazing, but it's not perfect. Everything else about the camera I love. I'll talk about a little bit more at the desk, but I figured I'd bring it up out here because I see why this camera kind of, you know, gives me a little bit of nervousness, you know what I mean? So yeah. All right, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed kind of seeing it out, you know, in the field, and, you know, I hope that it helped you gauge whether or not this camera, you know, is for you and all that stuff. But I do want to kind of go into a little bit more depth in the pros and cons of this camera so you guys can, you know, kind of see that whole point. So I'm going to start with the pros. Just like what I said at the beginning of the video, this camera is awesome. It's just aesthetically pleasing. Like, look at this thing. It is absolutely beautiful from all angles. I don't know a single angle that this camera doesn't look beautiful from. It's absolutely beautiful. I get so many compliments on it. It kind of looks like my Canon P, my rangefinder camera. So yeah, it is a gimmick though, right? It's not a real rangefinder. It's not a true rangefinder, but it's really nice kind of shooting a digital camera that tries to, you know, emulate that for you. So that's one of the pros that I really like about it. The next pro that I want to talk about is elephant in the room. The film simulations. They're awesome. In this video that you guys saw, just like what I said, I shot in Portrait 800 film simulation mode. I'm gonna put all those film simulations in the description so you guys can, you know, download them or, you know, plug them in at your own pleasure. I have a bunch of different film simulations in here, such as Kodachrome, you know, Portrait 800, Ilford HP5. The list goes on, and it's just like, they're absolutely awesome. I love them. Kind of on that same front, I don't shoot this camera in any type of RAW because the JPEGs are perfect. Like, the JPEGs are so rich in color, they're so sharp, and honestly, if you're just a social media person and you want to make pictures for social media or even your prints, these things, I mean, gosh, like the JPEGs that come out of this sensor and this camera, I don't know what Fuji did, but they did an amazing job because they're absolutely beautiful. The last pro that I really want to talk about, man, is how easy it is to use. You know what I mean? I'm a career photographer. I do this in my, you know, daily life and in my hobby life as well. And this thing goes into both of those, you know, categories for me, right? Like when I first picked it up, you know, I was like, oh, it's like a film camera, this, that, and third, right? But, you know, it still has a bunch of settings in here. It can shoot 4K video and all that. And never once have I ever felt scared. I've never felt like I didn't know how to use the camera, especially like nowadays, right? Like at work, I shoot on a Nikon Z9, right? It's like a sports car. It has literally everything in the world that you could actually, you know, like possibly want. But it gets overwhelming, and sometimes when I have that camera, I'm like, dude, like I just want it to be simple, easy, press, go. And this camera can be that for you. So if you're looking for a good camera to kind of, you know, go into as a, you know, intermediate and even beginners, I would recommend this camera to a beginner. The price point of this camera right now ranges from around 1,300 USD to around 2,000 USD, depending on the wear of the camera and what lenses you're going to get with it. But man, like, it is worth every penny. And in my opinion, it's an investment. This camera is just going to keep going up in price because it's a legend, right? There's a few aftermarket items I got in here, like the, you know, like the thumb stop right here, and then I got, you know, the little you know, screw in like press button for the shutter and all that stuff. But other than that, man, like, you know, I got a nice little lens strap on here and a metal lens hood for this. So that's literally all I use, and it does great. So yeah, all right. The cons, right? Again, just like what I said, the build quality could be a little bit better in my opinion. And then I do like the joystick on the back right here. There's a little joystick right here. You can kind of mess with that. But sometimes it gets a little squishy, especially when it gets hot outside, or if you're doing a long day of shooting and all that stuff. Sometimes it can get sticky. But other than that, man, like the battery life, you know, it's a mirrorless camera with a electronic viewfinder and all that stuff, so it's not going to be the greatest unless you get one of those nasty you know, attachments on the bottom, but I don't, you know, I don't really need that. I'll just take a couple batteries with me, and then, you know, everything will be fine and dandy, if you will, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the cons, man. Like, this camera is really awesome. You know what I mean? And my memorable statement of this camera to leave you guys and all that is, it's great. It's great. This thing has been amazing for travel photography. It's been amazing for documentation work, and it's even been amazing for my professional work, right? This camera's awesome. It allows you to, you know, have a very low profile camera, go out and do street photography. You know, me, I'm a male, right? Like, if you, you know, if you're walking around, you know, taking pictures of people's, you know, faces or their property or whatever you're doing, right? Like, you don't want to have a huge, nasty camera setup that could be mistaken as like a weapon or something like that, right? This camera is like, it is awesome because when I'm doing street photography, some people just come up to me and be like, oh, you got a like nice little toy camera there, nice, cool. Oh, or like, hey, you got like a, you know, like that's a beginner camera, this, that, and the third, right? Like, that is what I want people to think it is, right? And little do they know, this is one of the most advanced and amazing cameras that you can buy with money today, right? So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, honestly. I do want to make this into a little mini series going forward, called Camera Talks, to where I pick up my camera, you know, review it, allow you guys to kind of see what type of photos I made with it, and give you guys a good recommendation, right? I have a couple of cameras that I want to do this with. I'm going to do a camera review, kind of show you guys all the cameras that I have and a few of the work that I made with it, just so you guys can, you know, get a gauge on it yourself. I have a couple, you know, good videos in my head that I kind of really want to push out in the upcoming weeks. But yeah, stay tuned. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, and if you guys are Fujifilm shooters and you have an X-PRO-3, you know, at the crib and all that stuff, comment in the, you know, in the comments and talk to me about your experience with the Fujifilm X-PRO-3. And, you know, I'm human, so I may have missed a couple things that you guys like or dislike about the camera. So honestly, put those in the comments, because you never know who you might help, right? So again, I appreciate you guys for coming out to this video. Stay tuned. We're gonna have a lot of fun in the upcoming weeks. But yeah, I hope that I could, you know, either get one of you guys to buy this camera, or if you, you know, on the other end, if you don't want to buy it after you saw this video, I did my job, right? So I appreciate you guys. Have a good day, and I'll catch you next time.